This has always been a rare sight on our roads, being the elusive big brother of the Volkswagen SUV lineup. I'm of course referring to this, the new 2022 Volkswagen Touareg. But before we begin, do remember to subscribe if you haven't already and click on the bell icon. Up front, you get these new IQ Matrix full LED headlights, which adapt as you drive. So, as this car is so tall, you won't blind other motorists in their rearview mirror. And these are all seamlessly integrated into the front grille, giving you this very clean shape. And of course, with the R-Line package, you also get sportier bumpers and more chrome pieces throughout the car. And how do you know if you have an R-Line car? Well, you can see this very small and subtle R-Line badge at the front. Overall, I do like the front of the car because you have a lot of clean lines that extend throughout the entire vehicle, giving you this very simple but still macho looking shape. This model comes with bigger 21-inch Suzuka alloy wheels, and these are only available on the more expensive R-Line trim. The R probably stands for rich. The chrome pieces line the windows nicely, which gives it a very nice contrast against the simple exterior. And you also get silver roof rails. The side mirrors also include puddle lights, so when you're exiting the vehicle at night, you can actually see where you're stepping. The keyless entry system works on all 4 doors of the car, and the best feature is actually this. The soft closing feature. No longer will you have passengers trying to slam the door in order to close them. Round the back, you also get a full LED rear light cluster with these nice L-shaped patterns inside of them. And like the front, you also get an R-Line specific rear bumper and trapezoid exhaust pipes. Being so large, the Touareg obviously has a lot of space. And you do get 810 litres available with the seats up. With such a wide opening, you can even put 1 pram, maybe even 3 without any issues. What you have, golf clubs, IKEA stuff, no problem. And if you really need more space, you can also fold the seats down 20-40. What's even more convenient is that this car comes fitted with air suspension, and you can activate it with this switch here. You can lower the rear of the car, so you don't have to break your back trying to lift heavy cargo into the boot. Even though the R-Line trim does give it a bit more sportier element, this car is still very mild looking as compared to other SUVs on the market. And that is exactly why I love the Touareg. It gives off that stealth wealth, if you know kind of aura to other motorists. With such a large car, rear passengers have plenty of legroom and headroom, and 3 adults can fit comfortably back here with room to spare. But if you're traveling alone back here, there's a nice armrest here with 2 cup holders. And you don't feel stuffy at all in the interior, as you have aircon vents on both the center console and B pillars. If you're someone who likes to suntan, there's this giant panoramic sunroof which lets in lots of sunlight and makes the already big interior even more airy. On the other hand, if you're someone that hates sunlight, you can cover this up and you can shade yourself from the sun with these sunshades on the door windows. Inside the Touareg makes you feel like you're wrapped in luxury. And the more expensive R-Line package gets you R-Line stitching on the thick and plush leather seats, as well as heating, cooling, fully electric functionality, and even massage functions, which is honestly the feature I use the most in this car. You can just turn on the massage function and cruise on the expressway in total comfort. This is a very small feature, but the Touareg has not 1, but 2 sunshades. This is really a very small feature, but it's very useful as you don't have to rotate this sunshade here and there as you drive along because the sun is in your view. Because now, you are covered on both sides. You get a 12.3-inch fully digital instrument cluster and a heads-up display for all your driving needs. But the star of the cabin is frankly the biggest infotainment screen I've ever come across in any car, coming in at a whopping 15 inches. But all of this real estate does work to your advantage, as you are able to press all of the menu items with relative ease because the settings are not compressed together like the screens in other cars. And you will definitely press all of these settings quite often, as most of your car settings like your aircon and your car driving settings are all located within this infotainment screen. You also get Apple CarPlay and Android Auto included, but sadly a wireless charging dock is absent in such a premium car. Still, if you really wanted to charge your phone, there's a Type-C port front here, there's a 12V outlet, and a USB port inside the center glove box. The steering wheel is very comfortable to hold, and it even comes with heating function. But the frustrating thing that I found during testing was that these multi-function buttons are just not nice to use. They do not have a tactile feeling to press, and because they are so bunched up together, each time I press one setting, I would accidentally press something else. Especially the volume and the music change buttons, which have to slide in order to activate them. Why can't there be separate physical buttons? It's just so much easier to use. Because of the frustrating volume button, I use this instead to control the volume, which is so much better to use. If you want to mute it, just like that, and it's muted. So much easier. You get a short gear shifter, which is very easy to use, and it doesn't obstruct your view of the infotainment screen. You get an electronic handbrake, auto hold, your hazard light switch, your engine start stop, and this button is to control the auto parking system, which is inside this car. And lastly, you have two dials here. Your left is your air suspension settings, while the right is your drive mode settings. Overall, while there are minor nitpicks like your steering wheel buttons for example, there really isn't much to complain about in the cabin of the Touareg. You have a very nice and comfortable interior that makes long drives not only bearable, but even enjoyable. So, let's see how she handles on the road. And here are the headline figures for the Volkswagen Touareg. It is powered by a 3-litre V6 with 335 brake horsepower and 450 Nm of torque. It has an 8-speed Tiptronic automatic gearbox, and it can do 0 to 100 km/h in just 5.9 seconds. It has a top speed of 250 km/h and a fuel efficiency of 12 litres per 100 km. Those who are familiar with the old Touareg would know that it used to be offered with a very boisterous V10 engine that offered a lot of power and low-end torque. However, with tighter emission standards and the quest for more fuel efficiency, models that enter Singapore will only be offered with one engine configuration, a 3-litre turbocharged V6 engine. Now, before you turn away in disappointment, I'm happy to report that this 3-litre V6 performs extremely well. Yes, there is a slight noticeable turbo lag, but it still delivers smooth power throughout the rev range, more than you'll ever need in Singapore. Your right leg has 335 horsepower and 450 Nm of torque at your disposal. And with an enthusiastic press of the right pedal, this car can sprint from 0 to 100 km/h in just 5.9 seconds, which is damn impressive for such a big SUV. Its acceleration is thanks to its permanent all-wheel drive system, dubbed 4Motion by Volkswagen. One crucial difference that this R-Line trim offers over the standard Elegance trim is the inclusion of all-wheel steering. This results in smoother handling in places like cornering or lane changing, and this really gives you the confidence to take corners at faster speeds. And you don't have to worry that the car will tip over, especially in an SUV. The Touareg has an air suspension system, meaning you can change the car's ride height, and this is very helpful when you want more ground clearance when going off-road. For whatever reason in Singapore. Still, if you want to raise the car's height to the maximum and stare down at other motorists as they drive by, now you can. You get 7 different driving modes with the Touareg. You have your standard eco, normal, sport, yada yada, but you also get off-road and snow settings. Not sure where you will use the snow setting in Singapore. If Singapore really started to snow, I would be more concerned than saying yes, I can use the snow setting in my Touareg. Volkswagen did not cut corners with this Touareg, and it is jam-packed with a lot of safety features. So you have your emergency brake, your front and rear traffic alerts, your blind spot warning, lane assist, travel assist, and even a driver's alert system, which detects that if the driver is falling asleep at the wheel, and it alerts them. All of these safety features are very technical, but in summary, what this means is that this car, despite its size, is actually very easy to drive. And the two features that I really use a lot are assisted steering and adaptive cruise control. which even works in traffic jams, accelerating and slowing down following the car in front, even coming to a complete stop. For once, I can travel on the PIE at 6 PM after work and my right foot can finally relax. Overall, while this is a very big SUV, it is still very nimble and user-friendly to the driver thanks to all your safety features like your 360-degree parking assistant. Parking is easy thanks to the 360-degree parking assistant, and you have loads of sensors dotted all around the car, so you'll hear something before you actually hit it. And if for some reason you don't wish to park it yourself or are intimidated by that parallel lot located outside Swee Choon, you can even let the car park itself with Park Assist Plus. Overall, the Touareg as a whole is a very compelling package. It takes everything Volkswagen has to offer and compresses it into one big, practical package. Of course, all of this does come at a pretty penny, and at the time of this video, this R-Line variant will cost you 399k. Not exactly pocket change. The main reason why you don't see many Touaregs on our roads is frankly because most people don't actually know this model exists on our shores. And honestly, I don't blame them. At 400k, most people would default to more common luxury models, which is a shame because this is actually quite a gem. If you're in the market for a luxury SUV, I would highly recommend you give the Touareg a go. It might surprise you. As big as it is, the Touareg is an easy car to drive thanks to lots of fancy tech, and you have enough space for your whole family and then some. You can also take them anywhere, on or off-road. Big in size, but also big in satisfaction, if you can stomach the price. That's it for me. Do remember to like, share and subscribe, and I'll catch you again on mReview.
Motorist